Welcome to the Xenos Product Suite Demo Series. Xenos designs, stores, and delivers high-volume print and electronic documents for top-tier organizations in financial services, insurance, telecommunications, and utilities.
Hi, today we're doing the first demo in our Xenos Demo Series. For this demo, we're playing out a common scenario. We'll be converting an AFP file to a PDF, so it's ready to be loaded into an ECM system. Then, we'll be automating that process using Xenos Developer Studio. As many of our clients are financial institutions, we'll be showing this conversion process using a simple bank statement. Xenos Developer Studio enables us to complete this entire process without the need for custom scripting or coding. This is Xenos Developer Studio, where we set up file transformations, process flows, and integration components, all in the same user interface. Starting here with our bank statement example, we're going to start with creating a new document transformation project. Developer Studio has all these easy-to-use wizards for pretty much everything. Now, we right-click and create new component. We'll choose the document transformation. Go next, give it a name of AFP to PDF, click Next again, and we'll go through the wizard. Going through the wizard, we will use the default font correlation table. In this next screen, you can see that we have a variety of parsers and generators for multiple print streams, all independent of one another. For this project, we will choose AFP parser and PDF generator, and also start their associated wizards automatically. We will click Next to start setting up the AFP. This particular AFP has all of its resources inline, but if any of its objects were external, we could set this all up here as well. Click Next, and we will come into some more options around the AFP, where it is coming from, and how we should read it. Next, some options around how we want to run this example, but we will stick with the defaults. So now we are done with the AFP setup, and we will go into setting up the PDF. We will choose an output location, as well as some of the options we may want to adjust, such as basic generating options like shifting the page, scaling the size, setting compression options, as well as how we want it to open once it is generated. Now we are done and the flow has been created. To ensure we have set up the parser correctly, we will right-click on the AFP parser and go into Page View. This will give us the representation of how we are parsing it. So if we needed to play around with fonts or bring in other resources, we should know from this view. Some of the things you will notice from this view is that we can see all elements of the AFP on this particular page. We can see that there are 284 words, multiple forms, and we can even go further into these words to see what fonts are being used and where the words are located on the page. Now, let's exit out of this and run it. We can view the log to see how the font translation went and look for any issues that may have arisen. Everything looks good, so let's go and open up the PDF to check it out. So now that we have set up the document transformation project for our banking statement, we need to push this into a process flow. This enables us to manage the flow of information with a graphical user interface instead of writing custom code or scripts, which are difficult to maintain. We will start by creating a new process flow and giving it a name. We end up with a blank canvas, which we will quickly reorganize. Now we can drag on the AFP to PDF transformation we just created, connect it to the start, and rename it so the next person who views this flow can understand what we're doing. Let's go over to the component palette and grab the file process so we can save the PDF to the file system once transformed. Now we will connect it, rename it, and go through the wizard for the file process. So, we'll choose a name, how it is going to be written out, the retry options, and how we will view the metadata to ensure the setup is correct. Now we're finished setting up the process flow. Click Save. Okay, so we created the AFP to PDF bank statement transformation. We've called it within a process flow, and we've written out the results to a staging area. Now, Let's automate this by setting up an event to pick up a file as soon as it's created within a directory. So let's start by right-clicking, creating a new component, and going into the events. From here, we can see we have a number of options including HTTP, email, web services, FTP, and file. We are going to choose the file event from the list of events. The file event will allow us to listen on one or more directories, so when a file arrives, we can kick off the process flow we just created automatically. Now, like everything else, we will go through the wizard, give it a name, and add a directory to listen to. We are only listening on one directory, so now we will finish off the wizard. Next, we will associate the process flow we just created to the event and click Save. We will quickly go into the file system. The output directory has the file we created before, and the input directory has one AFP. We will now go back into Developer Studio and execute the event which will listen for files. To recap, we are picking up a file with the event, running through the process flow, transforming it, and saving it to disk. Now, if we go into the output directory, we should see the new output file, and when we open it up, we can see the PDF which we saw earlier. If I scroll through this though, I can see that there are multiple statements inside this PDF. In upcoming demos, I will show you how we can break this up into individual statements. Okay, so we just picked up an AFP file which is created by a back-end banking application. We transformed that to PDF, and then we wrote it out to a staging area where it could then be picked up and loaded into an ECM system. The Xenos Developer Studio graphical user interface enabled us to do that without any custom coding or scripting. Like what you saw or have any questions? Feel free to email me, wdavis@actuate.com, or you can follow us on Twitter for our latest updates and news.